Boys and girls, Mrs. Kang here, Latin tutor, classical conversation. This week in your homework, you have second declension nouns. How are they different than the first? Different endings, different gender. So if you want help with that, I've created a little video to give you a little help. So let's take a look at the screen. As always, Henle gives a few vocabulary words, and in this case, you have 6 second declension nouns. You know they're nouns, and you always know what declension something is because of the ending. Here's my noun sheet that I have, and second declension is masculine and gender, and its genitive is always an I. Genitives are always the indicator of what declension a noun belongs. First declension always ends in AE, and the genitive of the second declension is always, forever and ever, an I, pronounced E. The nominative could have us, most of them are us, but on occasion we have an irregular or ear. So I wrote those in on my noun declension sheet here. So how you decline a noun, there is a process. I use my noun declension sheet here. It's a form that we created. And actually up here, I give instructions on how to decline a noun. So you put, and if you don't have one of these sheets, you can simply use a plain old piece of paper. You're just going to put your nominative and your genitive. And of course, those are listed in your book. The nominative is the first word. This is the subject. And the second word is the genitive. This is the possessive noun adjective. This is the key to finding your stem. And Latin's all about stems and endings. So you want both forms written down on your sheet, both of those forms. And of course, on my sheet, I have 2 blanks, nominative, genitive. So you're going to write those. And to find the stem, that's what you need, you're going to go to the genitive. You're going to cross out that genitive ending. Now, how did I know that I was the genitive ending? Well, it's right here. Go to the genitive, cross out that genitive ending, and you're left with the stem. So if you look on my sheet here that I've already declined, servus, servi, I went to the stem, I crossed out I, and I was left with S-E-R-V. You're going to write that down because what you want to happen in Latin, you want to always memorize the stem. Stems and endings. This is what Latin is all about. So S-E-R-V is the stem. Then you're going to write the stem, number 3, write the stem 10 times. So 10, 5 here, 5 there, singular and plural. And then step 4, you're going to add your noun cases. And the noun cases endings are us, o, o, is, os, is. Us, o, is, os, is. I've changed that a little bit from you guys, how you've learned it. Us, o, o, is, os, is. Us, o, is, os, is. And then you want to make sure you understand what it is in English. So in this case, this means servant or slave. And make sure when you learn this word from the vocabulary, immediately remind yourself this is a second declension. The reason why is when you first learn those vocabulary words, you have to put them in a category. This is where you're going to go to find all your endings, possible endings to translate. So this is the slave. That's how it's translated. The slave. And then the genitive is of the slave. The dative is to or for the slave. The accusative is the slave. Subject and direct object always translated the same. And the ablative, which is our object of the preposition, is some type of preposition translation. By the slave, with the slave, from the slave, by, with, from the slave. So write those out. Then there's a connection between you writing to it going in the brain. There's a connection there. And so then the English on the plural side, the slaves, of the slaves, to or for the slaves, by, with, from the slaves. I put the 5 cases right here in the middle. The cases are the English jobs, the English job. So nominative is a subject noun, genitive is a possessive noun adjective, the dative is the indirect object, the accusative is the direct object, and the ablative is the object of the preposition. Now, if you've never done a declension, hopefully that helped. And that's what you typically want to do with every one of these words. Filius, filii, which is son, Deus, Dei, which is God, amicus, amici, friend, Christus, Christi, Christ, and Christianus, Christiani. They stick in a conjunction there because they immediately want you to start translating sentences. So hopefully that helps. Do that with every vocabulary word that you have. You're like, Mrs. Kang, my hand's going to fall off. No, it's not. But what is going to get in your brain is the English translations. You're going to be comfortable with looking at those forms. And of course, I didn't mention this, but this blue grammar book that you have on page 6 and 7 will also give you those translations. And then rules on the gender, very helpful. This is a jewel. So if you're in CC and you're using Henle, you're in a good place. If you need more help, you can contact me at Becky Kang at verizon.net, and I can help you. All right, take care.